Dr. Dre talked about how he first came to know Eazy.
Let me see, actually me and Eazy met, I think it was around 83, 84. Well, we always saw each other around the park and everything, but we really started hanging around 83, 84. It was at a block party. 4th of July, we had a block party in the neighborhood. And well, we didn't have the block party. Somebody else had the block party. And the police came and shut it down, told everybody they had to go home, and everybody still wanted to party. So me and Eric hooked up and was like, yo, let's go to my mom's backyard. That's what he was saying. So we went and gathered up the little bit of equipment I had, took it to his house. A couple of people brought speakers and, you know, this and that. And everybody went in his backyard and started partying.
A friendship was cemented that day, and Eazy-E and Dr. Dre soon began to work on demo tapes, one of which Ice Cube wrote called Boyz-n-the-Hood.
And I knew Eric had a few chips, you know. I knew he had some change from hustling. You know, so he said he'd be with it. He wanted to check him out. Actually, it was Eric and another buddy of mine named Laylaw. Laylaw wasn't with it either, so he left. It was me and Eric in there. Eventually, the HBO guys, they left the studio, and it was me and Eric in the studio. So I talked him into doing the rhyme. The song was Boyz-n-the-Hood. I talked him into doing it. You know, he was pressured. He was like, yo, I ain't never rapped before. I can't do this. So I eventually talked him into doing it. You know, he put on some dark glasses, and we cut the lights down, and, you know, and he did it. Next day, you know, we had a hit record.
Boyz-n-the-Hood may have seemed like an overnight hit, but it did need a little push in the beginning. Dr. Dre knew that the group liked the song, but he didn't know if anyone else would, so he decided to get his hustle on.
See, what we did was we went down and we got the fictitious business name, put it in the paper, came up with Ruthless Records, and we used to go down to a place called Macola. And what we used to do is we used to sell the records ourselves. We didn't have no distribution deal or nothing. We would go down and have like about 2 boxes printed up, you know, 50 comes in a box. It costs $1 to print them up, you know, so we spend $100 and go sell them to different record stores and swap meets for like $250, $275 a copy. And, you know, we just come up on the money like that. Eventually, we took the money that we made on Boyz-n-the-Hood and made the first N.W.A. record.
Dr. Dre felt it got hectic when the big money started coming in.
We started seeing those big numbers. You know, we were in Phoenix, Arizona, and some of the people from Priority Record came down there with the platinum records and what have you. They came down there with checks for everybody, you know. And we were like, okay. So they came down and they set these $75,000 checks in front of all of us, right? All 5 of us. And we were like, okay, what's this for? And it was like, okay, this is for, you know, record sales. And this is for this is for record sales and for an advance on the next record, you know, small advance on the next record. So we like, cool. But there was a but on the end of that, you know. But legally, you guys aren't a group. N.W.A. is not a group legally because there are no contracts signed. See, up until then, everything was just verbal on the homeboy level, you know. This is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, and that's it. And this is how we're going to get paid, you know. So Jerry Heller comes in, and he goes, yo, you guys are not a group until these contracts are signed, right? You can't get these checks until these contracts are signed. So seeing $75,000 sitting on the table, you know, we some kids out of Compton. We've seen most at one time, $2,000, you know what I'm saying? Maybe $2,000 at one time. So we like, okay, cool. Well, I ain't got no problem with it. We're a group anyway, so Cube was the only smart one at the time. You know, he didn't sign the contract, you know, which, you know, that moment, they say the pen is mightier than the sword is oh so true. You know, that moment messed us up for a long time.
Looking back, Dre says that he, Eazy, and Ice Cube could have worked out their differences because the root of their beef was not with Eazy.
I had no problems with Eazy. You know, my main problem was Jerry Heller. That was my main problem. I told Eric before I left, I was like, look, I gave him a choice. Look, you get rid of him, we all good. We can do business there. If he's still around, I can't do nothing with you, period. Because he's a bad business partner, period. As far as I know, you know, it's nothing to just say, get rid of him and get another manager, period. Somebody that's going to be on the level. But he didn't want to do that. So I had to step and do my own thing. You know, I had to look out for Dre.
But even after all that drama, Cube and Eazy eventually patched up their differences, as well as Eazy and Dre. Well, sort of.
Well, it was like, it was a little bit of animosity because of the records that we did, you know. I ain't gonna say it was just like peaches and cream, because it wasn't, you know. Like I said, we talked, we laughed and talked a few minutes about some old times just over the telephone. Actually, we talked twice. And, you know, we was, basically all the record stuff was squashed. You know, I said what I had to say about him, he said what he had to say about me, and that was that. You know, we both made some money. It was all good. You know, we're gonna hook back up and hopefully do the N.W.A. thing.
The N.W.A. thing was the rumored N.W.A. reunion album. Dre speaks on how close that was to happening.
I was doing the Nate Dogg video and the Dog Pound video, and during that video shoot, I was talking to Eazy on the telephone, and we were setting up meetings to get together. Me, him, Q, Yella, and Ren, you know. Everybody else was with it, but, you know, it was just me and Eazy that had to come to a settlement, you know. So we settled on the meeting, we were going to hook it up. Actually, Mike Conception got us together. You know, Mike Conception got us on the phone together, and we started talking. You know, it was like, yo, bam, before you know it, we was laughing about old times and this and that. We were going to hook up.
Dr. Dre first dismissed the news of Eazy's condition as a rumor until he saw his old N.W.A. partner for himself.
Actually, I didn't believe it until I went to the hospital and saw him. You know, and it hit me pretty hard. It was like, yo, I mean, it's different when you hear about, like, Magic having it, and because, you know, I don't know Magic. You know, I just know Magic is the bomb on the basketball court, and when I see him out, he cool, you know, like, what's up? But I grew up with Eric, and it was like, it's just like your brother passing away. You know what I'm saying? It was close like that, because the time that we spent apart can't even touch the time that we spent together. Because we were apart and mad at each other about, 2 years, and we grew up together. That can't compare to the time that we spent together and all the good times that we had, you know? So it was kind of rough.
Here's Dr. Dre speaking on his respect for Eazy's vision for himself and N.W.A.
He definitely had a vision. He was seeing a lot. He was seeing a wider picture of the whole thing after he got into it than everybody else was seeing, you know, as far as, like, not trying to go take the record and be on somebody else's label, which all of us were trying to do. You know, we were like, yo, let's get a record deal with somebody. Opposed to that, he was saying, yo, they had to start somewhere to do their record company, so why can't we do it, you know? So he definitely had a vision, and this came out because right now you have everybody coming up trying to do their own labels, you know, do label deals, and it's working, you know, it's working for the better.